In this segment, we'll show you how to assemble your new Agri-Fab 175-pound Polypro spiker spreader. We'll begin by pressing a flanged bearing onto the flat side of each spike disc. Then press a flanged bearing onto both sides of both drive discs. Next, press a flanged bearing onto the flat side of both center braces. Then assemble a 1/2-inch spacer and a 5/8-inch washer onto the axle. Now insert the axle through the end of the frame that contains a pre-assembled sprocket. When assembling, make certain the spike discs face the direction shown. Slide a 5/8-inch washer onto the axle, and then a drive disc, followed by a 5/8-inch washer, and then another drive disc, and then another 5/8-inch washer. Next, insert a spike disc with the flat side facing the previously installed parts. Follow the disc with a 2.9-inch spacer, and then slide on another spike disc with the flat side facing away from the spacer. Next, insert a 5/8-inch washer, the spring, and another 5/8-inch washer. Now, insert another spike disc, flat side toward the previously installed parts. And then, follow that with a 2.9-inch spacer. Then, insert another spike disc with the flange facing the spacer. Now slide a 5/8-inch washer onto the axle, followed by a center brace with the flange facing away from the washer. Next, insert a 3.2-inch spacer, followed by another center brace with the flange facing the spacer, followed by a 5/8-inch washer. Now, slide a spike disc onto the axle with the flat side facing the previously installed parts. Follow the spike disc with a 2.9-inch spacer, and then another spike disc with the flange side towards the spacer. Insert a 5/8-inch washer, a spring, and then another 5/8-inch washer. Now, slide a spike disc onto the axle with the flat side facing the previously installed parts. Follow the spike disc with the 2.9-inch spacer, and then another spike disc with the flange side towards the spacer. Then use a plastic tie around each set of spike discs that surround springs. Tighten the discs to compress the springs to allow room for the rest of the assembly. Now, slide a 2.9-inch spacer and then another spike disc with the flange side facing away from the spacer. Then slide a 2.9-inch spacer and then another spike disc with the flange side towards the spacer, followed by a 5/8-inch washer. Now slide the end of the axle through the spreader frame. You may need to straighten the discs on either side of the springs to allow it to slide freely. Slide a 5/8-inch washer onto the end of the axle and then insert a cotter pin and spread the ends. Now insert 2 cotter pins into the drive discs and then spread the ends. Then cut and remove the plastic ties from the spike discs. Be aware that spring tension is released when the plastic ties are cut. Keep clear of the spike discs to prevent injury.